In our last video, we talked about the issue with immigration court and that the government is trying to close out these cases based on what's called a motion to pretermit. And today, let's talk about some arguments you and your lawyer can make for continuing your case to be heard in immigration court. And these are things you can think about. One is, and this is an important one, that the government waived its ability to raise the issue of this motion before the individual hearing because this happened a long time ago, meaning that the government had the time to do so and all of a sudden they just didn't. And so that's something you should talk about with your attorney in terms of, okay, why did the government take so long to file this, and you've been waiting patiently in court for years to have your hearing, and then all of a sudden the government is making this argument that it waived its ability. And so that's something to be aware of. Another argument that you can make is that the government has not met its burden that Honduras would receive you for a full and fair procedure. And so that's something to be aware of because it's based on an agreement with Honduras. And so you should research what's going on and what they agreed to and think about what you can show that the government has not met its burden to receive you for applying for asylum. And another argument to make is this government tried to have this agreement in 2019. It was later found to not be enforceable or legal, and now they're trying to do it again. And so that's something to talk about with your current attorney and try to argue. And so those are arguments to make. And so another thing to consider is what kind of evidence you should provide. So it's very important to also provide supporting evidence for your case, meaning that you submitted your declaration and on time. You submitted your asylum form and on time. And you submitted supporting evidence. And so make sure at the very least to include your asylum declaration and your asylum form, that it's included in your asylum packet, meaning it was submitted to court. And so make sure that it was submitted and accepted. And you can check with the court clerk to see if it was. And there are ways to check online too. And so make sure you at least submit a asylum form that is very well detailed, as well as a declaration, because the government is trying to argue that these asylum forms or declarations are not sufficient. They don't have enough legal grounds to proceed. And so you show that you have a strong case by submitting a full case with your evidence and your asylum form. And you can contact us if you have further questions about how to make your case as strong as possible, especially given these motions to pretermit.